Welcome to Unfiltered and Unstoppable with Rob Romesburg. Real strategies for real advisors, a podcast that dives into what it takes to scale a thriving financial practice. Each week, we'll discuss actionable strategies, tools, and insights to keep you ahead in today's financial landscape. From innovative products and powerful marketing tactics, you'll get unfiltered truth and unstoppable strategies. Let's get started by building your unstoppable financial practice today.
All right. Welcome back to Unfiltered and Unstoppable. I am your host, Rob Romesburg, and as always, I'm super excited to be able to cover some great strategies and concepts with you today. And specifically, today, what we are going to be talking about is something that sounds simple, and some of these items might be old hat, and yes, no duh, like I understand that, but is it all working together? And is it applying within a process? And overall, what this will do is will quietly determine whether your clients stay for decades or slowly drift away. And the topic today is quite simply client review meetings. This could be one of the greatest things that you master within your firm and within your systems and processes. So, want to lay out the foundation today. I am certain for those of you that are successful advisors that have even been doing this for 20 and 30 years, there are definitely one or two things that you will pick up here today. Because here's the truth that most advisors don't ever really hear out loud. Um, you don't really lose clients because of performance. You lose them because somehow, some way, the relationship slowly went silent. And so this is going to go continue on with our series that we've had over the last three podcasts of how do we improve with our current client relationships. And for those that are primarily working and primarily serving with pre-retirees and retirees, review meetings aren't just check-ins, right? They're not just check-ins. That this is where the confidence around the relationship is built. That this is where the fear is calmed, and more importantly, lifelong loyalty is earned. It's created, but more importantly, earned throughout this process. So today, I'm going to be going through a complete practical framework for mastering client review meetings. And ultimately, what we want to have happen here is your clients leaving, and when they leave thinking, meaning leaving your office, um, you know what? I always just feel so much clearer after leaving Jimmy's office. I always feel so much calmer after leaving Susie's office. And I always feel so much more confident than when I walked into Bobby's office. And when that happens consistently, your business isn't going to just grow. It will truly become unstoppable. And that's what we want to focus on today. For example, what is the real purpose of a review meeting? It most might think that a review meeting is about the performance, the allocations, products, reports, but ultimately, that's not what your clients are thinking about. What they are really truly thinking about, what they want to know is, am I still okay? Especially for those that are already retired. Am I still okay? It, it, am I okay to stay retired? Or for those that are getting ready to retire, they might be thinking, can I really retire? I know that we worked on this plan over the last 5 years, and man, I'm getting ready to retire the next year. Can I really retire? And then also that fear, they also are probably thinking, what if something went wrong? So, once again, The real purpose of a review meeting is not information. It is ultimately about emotional certainty. It, your retirees, they're not going to measure value in basis points. But what they measure value in is peace of mind, clarity, confidence about the future, and the relationship that they have with you, the advisor. And so your thought process in the client review, it has to shift from report delivery, and it's all more about creating confidence and calming fears and making sure that everyone is still on the same page all the way back when we had policy delivery, when we had the finalization of the overall portfolio and the plan. Making sure that we still have a clear understanding of what's going on and why we put these things into place. So we're going to go through a 5 phase uh, master review structure. And I want to make this incredibly practical for everyone. So the 5 phase structure of what I consider to be a world class review meeting. Number one, once again, for those of you that have been doing this for a while, you're probably going to think, no kidding. You got to have a warm connection for the first 5 minutes of the meeting. And it's not generic. So, all the way before numbers take place, but before we talk about the markets, before actually talking about planning, let's reconnect and let's reconnect as humans, humans with a real relationship, humans with a real relationship that care for one another. So you are going to ask deep questions, but caring questions because these are your clients and you want to take care of them. So these questions are going to be things like, what's been your highlight of the year so far? It's been a while since we've had a chance to chat. What's been the highlight of your year? And then maybe even getting into the difficult questions of, so any changes this year? How's your family been? And any, and I remember last year you said Mary was engaged. I hadn't heard of a wedding date yet. How's your health been? I know that the last time that you came in, there was a scare. Hopefully everything's been going great there. And then the lifestyle. Now, Betty, are you still out in the garden every day? How's everything going with your garden? I know you send me pictures from time to time, but tell me more about the garden and what's going on. They want to tell you these things, that they have a relationship with you. They want you to be involved with their life. It, and the thing is that clients don't become loyal, truly loyal to portfolios. That they stay loyal to people who truly know them and that genuinely want to know them. When you have a client leave your office, or when you have them, or when they are speaking to one of their friends or family members, the thing that you want them to say is that I never just feel like a policy number here or an account number with my advisor. That's really what you want them to say. Number two, or phase two, is the emotional temperature check. This is really where you separate yourself from a quote good advisor to an elite advisor. This is where that separation happens. Ask this question, and man, you better have confidence in your plan. You better have confidence in that portfolio you put together before you ask this question. How are you feeling about your financial future right now? Not thinking. How are you feeling about your financial future right now? Because feelings drive decisions. And then the thing is that unspoken fear, that's where you lose clients if they aren't telling you about their fears. And then phase number three, making sure that there's progress towards retirement security. So this is when that now that this point of the conversation of the meeting, this is when we finally talk about the plan. So you're going to frame everything around outcomes, not performance, right? So the outcomes are things like income sustainability, risk protection, legacy goals, tax efficiencies. This is where we remind them of the purpose of the plan. That the purpose of this plan was designed for moments like this. The reason why we designed this income this way is so you could go take that vacation. Go take the vacation. So when you say this sentence, the reason why we designed this plan was for this moment, that right there is going to reduce significantly any sort of anxiety that they might have. Plan number 4, making sure that we have proactive planning opportunities in that client review. And this is really where the growth lives. This is where you are going to discuss, this is where you bring up beneficiary reviews, Roth strategies, income adjustments. Maybe they've got too much income coming in, or maybe not enough. Maybe we need to figure that out. This is when we discuss healthcare planning, legacy positioning. So this portion of it is not about sales. This is all about continued protection, the continued protection that you are providing your clients. So, what you want to hear from them, the purpose of this phase of the planning is, you know what? You always seem one step ahead of what we'll need next. Man, if you hear that, that is a very sweet, sweet sound because that's trust. And that trust right there will compound faster than any sort of market boom. Promise you. Phase number 5, making sure that the next steps are very clear. And once again, reassurance. So every review has to end with certainty. So that certainty is, hey, Bob and June, here's exactly what's going well right now. If there are any changes, what are those changes? Once again, re-emphasizing why we need to make those changes. Here's what's going to happen next. Here's when we'll meet next. Here's what you'll see in the mail. Here's the email that you're going to receive. And then also when we meet again, make sure that you bring this in. Make sure that we discuss these things. And then we're going to close with a very calm confidence at that point in time. You know what, Jim and Betty? You are in such a strong position. And we're going to make sure that we keep walking this path together. We are just so pleased that everything's going so well. We didn't have any doubts, but we are so pleased to see everything going well as we planned. Now, let's start going through some of the biggest review meeting mistakes that I've seen. So let's talk honestly here. And this is where you might unintentionally lose trust. If you talk too much about the markets, the thing is that your clients don't need CNBC. They already have CNBC. That's not why they are your client. What they need from you is clarity. Clarity about their plan, clarity about their life, clarity about their future. That's what they need. Mistake number 2 is don't turn your review into a mini seminar because you know this, but just reclarifying, over education creates confusion, not confidence. You got to remember this. Confused clients delay decisions. Clear clients stay forever. Very simple, very easy. Mistake number 3 is when you might skip the emotional conversation. Do not do this. Do not skip the emotional conversation, especially with retirees. Keep in mind, That meeting that they're having with you this week might be the meeting that they've been looking forward to all month. Because the rest of their meetings just might be terrible. The doctors and, everything else, they might be excited. They should be excited to meet with you because you are such an important part of their life. So if you're not asking how they're feeling, the problem is someone else jit at some point in time eventually will. And that's not what you want. And that's when your clients will leave, is when someone else shows that they care more about them than you do. So, how are my elite advisors creating lifelong clients? After over 20 years in the business, here's what I've seen. The most successful advisors aren't running, quote, better portfolios. What they're running and what they have is better conversations. Their clients are saying things like, you know what? I sleep better knowing that you're guiding us. You explain things in such a way that it actually makes sense. My last advisor just talked so far over my head, we didn't know what was going on. The thing that you want to hear and feel and see is that your clients trust in you completely. None of that has to do with performance. Yes, performance matters. Obviously, performance matters. But what we're talking about right now is relationship mastery. That's what we're talking about. And your relationship mastery is what's going to turn an individual from just a client into an advocate. And that advocate, therefore, will be bringing you referrals. And those referrals are going to create a legacy firm for you. So the whole purpose of having a successful review meeting, of mastering a review meeting, is to make sure that your clients are truly advocates. Because if they are truly an advocate, they are so comfortable with their plan, they are so educated with their plan, and ultimately they have all of their trust in you. Therefore, that's when the referrals start to explode. That's what you're looking for. So, a simple review meeting checklist, that this is what, so as a advisor, this is a mental checklist that you should do before every review. Am I reconnecting personally? Do I understand how they feel? Am I going to show them clear progress? Do I have a proactive protection plan in place? Am I going to make them calmer when they leave than when they arrived? And you want to make sure that if those answers are no, how are you going to do those things? Meaning, I'm not really sure I know how to understand how they feel. You better figure it out, because you're not, once again, you're not just doing reviews. What you're doing right now is you're building multi generational trust. That's what you're doing. And the thing is I'd love for you to do this challenge. This is something that you and your firm should do this week. And ultimately, this is something you should do every single week. So the next 7 days, what I'd like for you and your firm to do is one simple thing: call 5 clients. Now, maybe not your A plus clients or your A clients, but maybe find 5 clients that are your B clients. And you're not calling them for a review. You're not calling them to sell anything. You're not calling because the market because the market moved. You are calling just to ask them one question. And this one simple question is, tell me, Jim, how are you feeling about your financial future right now? Then pause and truly listen. You are going to blow their mind. They are going to be so thankful for that question. And hopefully they do tell you something they're unhappy about or concerned about or worried about. Once again, this is a conversation that is going to take great confidence, humbleness, and patience from you. Because here's the thing, when you ask that question, something powerful, very powerful is going to happen in this moment. Your client, maybe for the first time, hopefully not, but maybe for the first time, is going to truly feel seen, truly feel heard, feel protected. And what you want them to feel from this is remembered. And when that happens, you're no longer just their advisor. You are now that steady voice that they are going to for sure trust in those unsteady moments, in those uncertain moments. So the trust is truly built in the moments like this. And I want to leave you with this. Every client review meeting is a defining moment for you, your firm, your relationship with your client. And it's not because of what you show, but because of how you make people feel about their future. And when your clients consistently feel clear, protected, understood, guided, they're not going to shop. They're not going to wander. They're not going to leave. These individuals, these are the ones that are going to stay. These are the ones that are going to refer. These are the ones that are going to bring their family to you. So, what I want to do is give you something practical to help you and your firm be able to implement this immediately. So, head out to my website, which is simply evolvewithgradient.com /ace team. Evolvewithgradient.com /ace team. And that's where you're going to request the advisor trust and client experience method. This is going to help you immediately identify where trust is being built, where trust might be quietly breaking, and more specifically, how to turn every client conversation, every client interaction into lasting loyalty. That's what we want. Because if trust ever feels harder than it should, this framework is going to show you exactly why. And more importantly, it's going to show you exactly how to fix it. So, but before we wrap up here, I just want to say thank you to all the advisors listening and the firms listening. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the families that you guide. Thank you for the communities that you continue to serve and the way that you serve them with integrity and care and leadership. This profession matters, and so do you. And I know you don't hear that enough. And so, if today's episode helped you, make sure to follow the podcast. Make sure and like and share the episode. Specifically for those of you that have a firm that help with the meeting review process, share this with your team. Share this with your entire firm. Because when one advisor elevates the client experience, that's good. But when your entire firm does it, that's when families are protected at a completely different level. And that's when your firm grows stronger, significantly stronger. And more importantly, that's when your families become more secure. That's when communities become more stable, and that's when legacies become possible. And all of this is ultimately how you become. For my top advisors, this is how they receive 80 referrals in a year, and that's an average. Some are receiving significantly more than that because they have mastered this client review process. So once again, I am Rob Romesburg. This is Unfiltered and Unstoppable, and we will see you all next time. And as always, thank you for what you do.
The opinions herein may be from personal experience and may not necessarily be those of the Gradient Financial Group, its employees, or affiliates. Any results, topics, or outcomes are for informational purposes only. Financial professional use only. Rob Romesburg does not render tax, legal, or accounting advice and is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.